In today's episode, I had the opportunity to attend Comcast's CX Technology Day at the invitation of Jay Baer and the team at Convince and Convert. CX Day is Comcast's sort of event highlighting what they're working on and some of the challenges that they're working to overcome to improve their overall customer experience, which, as you know from 2 seconds of Googling, is not great. And there were 5 key takeaways I thought were interesting from the day that are more broadly applicable to everyone in all of our businesses. Number one, in their digital transformation and trying to adapt to where customers are and where customers want to communicate with them, the digital transformation has been mostly focused on process. So there's 3 parts to digital transformation: people, process, technology, right? H.J. Levitt's 1964 framework, which we've been listening to consultants talk about for 6 decades. And for Comcast in particular, the biggest gap has been on the process side. A company put together by more than 30 acquisitions and things has enormous challenges making process standardized. Technology has not been the issue. Getting 60,000 people to follow the same playbook, significantly tougher challenge. So I thought that was interesting in our own work in digital transformation, in your work at your company, recognizing that process is probably the thing that will be most difficult for an otherwise good company, right? For a company that's not filled with malevolent actors or completely broken technology. Process is the toughest part. The Chief Customer Experience Officer, Charlie Herrin, had an interesting insight on chatbots, sort of number 2. He said that chatbots are a bridge technology between old-fashioned call centers and what will eventually be fully automated, at least first level of support for customers using voice, but driven by AI. And I thought it was a really useful insight because a lot of folks are sort of putting a big stake in the ground on chatbots and how they're the next thing. But yet when you look around at all of our lovely, smart assistants and things that are on our desks, in our kitchens, on our phones and mobile devices, and you look at where Google's going with things like BERT and its natural language queries, they really are focused on voice and voice interfaces, even to things that have screens. And so Charlie's point that chatbots are a bridge technology, that's sort of a stopgap measure, I thought was useful, a useful insight to say, don't invest in them, get good at them, use them to train your team on better natural language processing, but don't bet the farm on them because in the next couple of years they will evolve, especially as we get more and more and better natural language processing technology. Number 3, Lisa Blackshear, who is the SVP of Comms and Digital Media, said that social media for them has really become an early warning system, letting them know of issues before they hit the call center and first-tier support. And obviously, because of that, social media scales much better than phones. Comcast has something like 50 million customers, and the social media support team is only about 400 people. That's a lot of people to manage. Certainly it's more than the 13 they had a few years ago. But when you consider just how well that system scales, again, for your own company, there are plenty of tools that can help you listen and scale and deliver better service through where customers are. And if you can build those early warning systems, you can potentially head off much larger issues. Speaking of phones, the EVP of Customer Service, Tom Karinchak, I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name correctly, said that in measuring customer satisfaction, they measure on NPS scores. The biggest increase that they saw, double-digit increases, was offering customers a choice other than calling support. It turns out that not as many people want to talk to phone support, especially if they're going to be on hold for a while. Other options do work better. So when we think about our own companies and how do we take those, all these technologies, chatbots, SMS, Facebook Messenger, whatever the tool is, Slack, is that where our customers want to be, and are we prepared to meet them there? It's a tough question. And 5, the most interesting session of the day I thought was on callbacks. So one of the things that they do that's mandatory for all employees, top to bottom, is they require them to call back customers. Even folks who are not in any kind of customer service roles, developers and project managers. And what I thought was interesting about that was that they do that to show employees how their work is being received by the marketplace. If you're a developer and you're working on the X1 interface and you're making changes to the UI, it's not a bad thing for that person to see, oh, this is what people actually think of the thing, and getting that feedback directly from the customer. That is something that way too many companies do not do in any capacity, and it would behoove companies, particularly a product-based company, to have your product developers, your product and project managers, the people who make the thing but don't necessarily have to support the thing, to be in that role, in that customer service role, and in that having a conversation with the customer about how the product is working for them, because you get the unvarnished feedback from the customer saying, yeah, I hate this thing doesn't do this. And when you have the ability to have 60,000 people reach out and say, hey, how's it working? How's it going? You're going to get a lot of useful data. Now, the one thing I thought was interesting was that the company doesn't use like 90% of its data above and beyond diagnostics to know something's wrong. But there are tremendous opportunities for a company like that, and your company too, to use even relatively mundane data for things like machine learning and predictive analytics. Real simple example from the day, we're talking about the use of their systems in hotel rooms. If you had a building with 500 of these set-top boxes and these fancy remotes, you can tell usage levels within that building. If you can tell usage levels, then you can predict future usage levels, which means that for someone who operated a hotel, for example, they could actually use that data to forecast the likelihood of guests, combine that with things like electricity usage, plumbing usage, etc., and you could build very sophisticated models that could probably reasonably accurately forecast when your volume is going to change, and that would change your staffing, change your marketing, change your budgets. And so I think there's a tremendous opportunity for any company that has operational data to turn that data into something more useful than just diagnostics. Now, Comcast itself has got a long way to go. One of the interesting things that Jay had to say at the start of one of the panels is that brand reputation is a decade-long cycle, meaning it takes a full decade of mostly positive experiences to teach a new generation of customers that the way things were at that company, the company's past reputation, is not the present. And 20 seconds in Facebook search or Google search or Twitter search will reveal that there's still a long way to go for the team at Comcast, but from what we saw, they're making the improvements that they need to and putting the infrastructure in place to meet customers where they are. So the reason to be optimistic there. My thanks to Jay and the team at Convince and Convert for inviting me to participate, and look forward to other interesting insights into companies, particularly very large ones, and how they operate when they have many, many, many people and many different types of stakeholders to keep happy. As always, leave your questions in the comments box below. Please don't ask any questions about Comcast support. I can't help you. And if you have a chance, please subscribe to the YouTube channel and newsletter. I'll talk to you soon. Want help solving your company's data, analytics, and digital marketing problems? Visit trustinsights.ai today and let us know how we can help you.